Hey, I'm Ted Vieira, and this week I did some things a little differently. I kind of swapped some things around. I used different lenses on these cameras and got some different perspectives. Towards the beginning of the week, I took my X100T out with the TCL, Fuji's teleconversion lens. So it was taking a camera where I normally would be shooting at a full frame equivalent of a 35 millimeter focal length, and it took it up to a 50. And man, that was a blast. That was so much fun. I'm really glad I picked up that TCL. I did a couple videos on it, and I'll link to those down below in the notes there on YouTube. And now towards the end of the week, I took my X-T1 out. And now typically when this camera leaves the house with me to go street shooting, I'll normally have the 35 f2 lens on here. But this week I put the 23 millimeter f1.4 lens on here. And so I'm going from what normally, again, full frame equivalent would have given me a 50 millimeter focal length down to 35. I just kind of swapped what happens normally with each different camera, you know? And it was fun, and it kind of gave me a different perspective on things, and it was just interesting. So yeah, in this video I want to talk about the Fuji XF 23 millimeter f1.4 R lens. Great lens. It's another Fuji lens, right? It's been around a while. It's not as new as any of the lenses that came out last year or anything like that, but yeah, quality piece of glass, great build quality. And what I love about these lenses that Fuji did this with is it's got that pull manual focus ring. Very cool. So you pull it back and you're in manual focus. You push it forward, autofocus. It's just very cool, very quick. You don't have to be, mess with the dial or anything like that. It's just ready to go. So yeah, I wanted to go down and do some street shooting, and I had a couple people that asked me about the 23 millimeter f1.4 lens. And now I'll say that of all the Fuji lenses I picked up so far, this is probably my least used lens, but that should mean absolutely nothing to you because it's a personal preference, right? It's not because the quality of the lens isn't good. It's because that 23 millimeter length, it's just not it doesn't work for me as well. I used to love it on the X100 when I used to shoot with that. I really loved that range. But it's not as exciting to me as either going a little longer or going a little wider. So I just haven't shot with it that much. So I wanted to go out and get some shots and do the video on this. So I took it downtown here in Vegas. I try to avoid the Strip. I'll usually go hang out downtown around the Fremont area and the areas around there, a little more interesting. So I'm just going to go ahead and show some of the shots that I got that night and let those play over while I'm talking about the lens. Again, great build quality, balances well on the X-T1, and so I started heading down the streets, and I loved the perspective I was getting. It was kind of fun to shoot with that 23 millimeter focal length again. I was getting what I wanted. The AF, yeah, not quite as fast as, like what I get with the 35 f2. And so I missed a couple shots and things like that. But, I can't really blame that on the lens so much as I am shooting in the dark. AF is just not, it's not going to be as happy as it would if it was like a well-lit photo shoot or something like that. So I can't blame the lens, but the 35 f2 does perform better in that kind of situation. But yeah, I was enjoying the shots, and I was enjoying that perspective, and had a really good time. Now I got home that night, and just kind of left the files alone. Didn't even take a look at them, and I didn't really think that there was anything that was going to knock anybody's socks off. But I looked at the files in the morning, and I was pretty happy with what the lens was able to do for me. It gave me that perspective I was looking for. It gave me the shots I was looking for. It performed pretty well in those kind of low light situations. I'll still look for as good a light as I can and try and find some nice contrast and stuff. That's what I love about shooting at night, because you can get those real deep shadows and dark, and light contrast and stuff like that. But great lens. If you like that 23 millimeter focal length, yeah, I can recommend this lens. Now, somebody put out a rumor. I can't remember who said it. I think one of you guys told me that there's a rumor about a 23 millimeter f2 lens that's in the works, but that's just a rumor right now. But wouldn't that be cool? Because I think it's going to be more modeled after like the 35 f2, from what we were talking about in this rumor. That is what it is. But yeah, I wouldn't mind if Fuji did like a Mark II version of each of their kind of older lenses. Man, I would buy them because the new lenses that come out just keep getting better and better. So anyway, hey, the 23 millimeter f1.4, awesome lens, and I'm glad I have it. Anyway, I'm Ted Vieira, and let me know if you have any questions about this lens or anything else that I can answer for you, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.